love the way that she is just out to parody everybody. Like it almost reminds you of a Saturday Night Live skit or something, because she takes a really familiar novelistic trope and turns it on its head, and it's just a riot. As you say, it's much less filtered than her later stuff, and so the kind of raw feel of the comedy is surprising in a way.
Hmm. Yeah, and she I mean, I think that it's an exercise in myth busting,
Mm,
in a way, what she does, and our sort of appropriately enough, our reading her teenage writings is another act of myth busting, because it it completely undoes this Victorian inheritance we have, the idea of her being so prim and proper, and her period being so prim and proper and white and clean and pressed, um, which, clearly wasn't at all.
right, right. You can tell the writer of these novels has stockings that are constantly falling down or something. It feels very human and disheveled, and yeah, wonderful. Received wisdom both in terms of narrative, because we see that come back in Northanger Abbey, which was written early in her career, but still it's nice to see it made it past the cutting room floor to stay in the novel, to that meta awareness of what she's doing as a writer.
Yeah.
um, and the the very 18th century aspect of figuring out virtue as a medium between two extremes and trying to thread that needle of balance, is something that I wasn't expecting to see play out as running from pole to pole in the juvenilia. And so you can sort of see
Yes, yes, yes.
experimenting with both ends. And then as she matures, she is able to show us more how you balance that in a way.
Without ever giving us a fixed medium, but it's,
Right.
it's always in movement. There's hardly
Exactly.
any adjective in Jane Austen that's always good or always positive.
Right. Right.
I also think that that the teenage writings really bring her that, significant part of her life that she spent in Steventon,
Mhm.
the first 25 years of her life, to life for us, because
Right.
she didn't publish anything during that time. She tried with her father's help, um but nothing is published. But it really brings alive that family culture of literary criticism and performance, the family theatricals, and you can feel these stories being read aloud.
And the sort of in-joke quality that,
It's true.
like I think that the teenage writings are screamingly funny, and I know there's a whole additional layer of humor that I'm not getting because I'm not an Austen. Yeah, wonderful.
We weren't flies on the walls.
Right. I'd settle for being Hill in the background.